Hello again to everyone, and welcome to the ISMG hosted webinar on the topic AI at Scale Blueprint for Network Innovation in BFSI and sponsored by SIFI. I am Rashmi Ramesh, a Senior Associate Editor with ISMG, and I have the pleasure of being your host for the next hour. And I want to take a minute to thank every single attendee for taking the time on a Wednesday afternoon to spend an hour with us for education and insights. So, the BFSI sector is at the forefront of AI adoption, but scaling these technologies, it demands a solid, secure, and agile network foundation. So later today, we will have an outstanding panel of leaders who will, bring their own unique perspectives. And they come from customer experience, they come from risk, they come from security, they come from engineering, they come from IT, from a wide range of industries. But before we begin, and we have our experts from SIFI share their insights to get us started, I just want to check if we can go over what the what the flow of this panel is going to be. So SIFI, as our sponsor, will share insights on the topic to get us started, like I mentioned, and we will follow that up with a panel discussion. And at the end of the session, we will have the most important aspect, which is the Q&A session, and I request every single one of you to ask every question that comes to you. Put that in the chat box, put that in the Q&A section of the screen that you see at the bottom. You have an question mark icon. So you can ask your question in the chat box, and our experts from SIFI, which is Suresh, Santana, and Pranesh, will do their best to answer them either on the screen in real time or in the chat box directly. There will also be poll questions for you that will pop up during the course of the webinar. And I request that you answer this as honestly as possible, because your responses are what is key in guiding the discussion today. So to get us started, let's walk through the first one right now to understand where the audience is in their journey. Sukrita, can you bring up the first poll, please? All right, there we have it. Where is your organization in its AI adoption journey? Pick one that works the best for you. Are you just exploring use cases? Are you piloting AI models? Are you scaling in production? Or are you already running large-scale AI workloads? Or maybe you haven't started yet. That is fine as well. We just want to get a feel of where our audience is in their journey, so we can tailor the discussion accordingly. Please take a few seconds, think about it, pick the choice that works the best for you. Just give everyone a couple of seconds to adjust and respond. All right, Sukrita, can we have the responses, please? Nice. Just exploring use cases. That is a very important part of the discussion, right? To understand what the solutions are, what the products are, how they match to your specific use case. So exploring use cases is, I would say, the most part of the AI adoption journey. And a lot of you have not started yet. Very easy upgrade to exploring use cases and A lot of you are also piloting AI models and scaling in production. Excellent. And we also have a few experts among us who are already running large scale AI workloads. Excellent. Thank you. So, at this point, I don't want our attendees to wait any longer to dive right into the interesting discussion that we have ahead. So I want to, at this point, hand over the reins to Sufis Pranesh Babu Kyatasandra, who is the Global Practice Head of Network Managed Services, and Suresh Gumaraju, who's the Head of Managed Services, and Santana Prashant R, who is the Associate Vice President. And Santana, please take it forward.
Yeah, thank you, Rishmi, and hello all. Thank you for taking time and joining the session. I'll just take through in terms of the critical network components of SIFI specific to BFSI verticals, and what is the SIFI's offering or SIFI's value propositions to our customers in terms of from an AI perspective, right? So from a specific to BFSI customer vertical, right? There are multiple priorities that are there, right? The most critical thing, when we discuss with most of our customers, be it private BFSI or public BFSI or NBFCs, right? Or the capital market members, National Stock Exchange or a BSE kind of customers, always look at the complaints as one of the key factors, right? Complaints and security continues to be the most critical factor for the BFSI customers. And of course, if for customers, securing customers going on to a DCDR setup or connecting to cloud, or the branch connecting to the data center networks, low latency and high uptimes are some of the priorities. And most of our BFI customers are kind of are going for multi-cloud environments, and GPU as a service, cloud on RAM requirements and things like that, right? And of course, sustainability is another key factor, right? So essentially, yeah, uninterrupted banking operations with complaints and low latency and high performance is what most of our customers demand today from the BFSI vertical, right? And what is actually the foundation of our AI offering, right? We kind of talk about high performance core, which requires multi-terabit network backbones that we need to build if you want to host your AI workloads in our data centers, and if you want to connect to cloud, or if you want to connect from one data center to another data center, network high terabit, high capacity networks are extremely critical. Backbone networks, be it within city or between cities, right? And of course, high capacity interconnections that can facilitate the AI compute clusters and things like that. And of course, like I already said, the foundation is actually a low latency fabric, right? Which can kind of transport your AI workloads between data centers within 1 milliseconds if it's there in the city, or you can kind of carry your AI workloads on a metro and a long haul for faster optimization if you want to have a DCDR setup and things like that, right? And you also need to have a secure design. Like I spoke about, security is a very, very critical factor. While there is a multi-terabit backbone network that's being built, the security compliance factor is a very, very critical factor in that, right? And and there also needs to be an orchestration layer, right? If you are running high capacity networks, and if you want to run your DC-DR setups between cities or between two data centers, or if you want to have if your AI workloads, some of your AI workloads are being hosted out of the cloud environment, right? You would want to have an orchestration layer which can kind of give you the flexibility to choose bandwidth that you can kind of enable, and it can actually be demand driven based on the based on the workloads that you're wanting to transfer, right? So these are typically the foundation of the AI ready network that we are currently building. And and if you look at it from a civic perspective, we are there in all the factors that really matters to deliver a seamless AI experience, right? For example, we have our data centers. That's kind of there in we have around 14 data centers across the country with almost close to 188 megawatts of lit power that is there, right? And all these data centers across these cities are fairly extremely well interconnected from a SIFI backbone perspective, which typically enables a low latency network facilitation between data centers in two different cities. And like I said, if you are wanting to transport your AI workloads within the city, we have established a network backbone that is capable of doing it within at less than 1 milliseconds, which is no microsecond latency that we can potentially give. And over and above the 14 data centers, we are also in process of deploying data centers in some of the edge cities. For example, we have our data centers in Lucknow and Chandigarh that's actually being built now, which are smaller in size. And we are always aspiring to go closer to the eyeballs, right? And we can kind of again, these edge data centers can be very seamlessly interconnected on a low latency, high secure network between our edge and DC. We can kind of do a low latency, high performance network. And over and above that, being SIFI being the data center and a network service provider, we also have most of the hyperscalers hosted out of inside our data centers, right? For example, you take AWS as an availability zone. No, the AWS is available in Rabale, that's one of in our data center Rabale, which is in Mumbai. That's one of our availability zones. Google Cloud is available in our data center in Noida, right? Oracle is available in our data center in Mumbai, in Rabale, and in our data center in Hyderabad. And we're fairly well interconnected with Azure. So which essentially means we can provide you if you are all wanting to host your AI workloads inside a data center, and you also have your workloads out of any of these cloud environments. We are capable to deliver these your AI workloads onto the cloud with the lowest possible latency, because these are technically interconnections. Most of the hyperscalers are being present in our data center, we'll be able to deliver extremely low latency, because it's technically a cross connect between your AI compute environment to the cloud environment, right? So we kind of cover the complete product offering from an AI perspective. Right now, we build around infrastructure, and there is data centers around the country. We are going into edge, right? And we are also connected to the cloud, which can kind of give you a seamless experience of the seamless experience that we can deliver to our customers through the data center and the network infrastructure that we have built. And on top of it, we also have the cloud interconnections, which can give you the seamless experience, right? So what is it that we can do from an AI perspective, right? If you want to do centralized training at scale, right? If you want to if you want to uh, if you're, like I said, if your workloads are hosted out of the cloud environment, or if you would want to connect between data centers where you have certain workloads being hosted out of one data center, and you would want to distribute that across all the other data centers inside the city, right? We have kind of high capacity, low latency connectivity within the city that we can enable through the metro network that we have built, right? And if you want your centralized AI workloads to be distributed from a cloud environment to multiple other workloads of yours, we again have connectivity with all the hyperscalers. And if you are also being within our data center, it's far more easier for you to traverse in terms of traverse your traffic between the cloud environment to the data center environment. And we provide the services through 400G and 100G capable network. And we can petabits and terabits of data transfer is possible through the network that we have built, right? Which essentially facilitates facilitates your centralized AI training at scale, right? And if you want to do production interference, production inference, right? If you want to do, let's say, for example, like I said, there is an orchestration platform that we have built. We want to do on the demand, data center to data center interconnection. We have an orchestration platform called a SIFI Ornet, which can potentially enable you to do that, right? And we like I said, we support 100G Ethernet and IP services that can potentially enable our customers to do production inference on over AI with a kind of data center interconnect backbone that we have built, right? And if you want to do pervasive AI and edge inference, and like I said, we are also present in if you have distributed AI workloads available across the country, and through our edge data centers, we can kind of connect you to the main data centers in the tier one cities, and we can kind of also do SD-WAN through our NLD network, and we can also do direct cloud connects through the MPLS backbone, right? If you're doing pervasive AI and decentralized AI execution models. Right. And just to talk about Sifia OnNet as a platform, right? This is a platform where we kind of utilize our connected infrastructure. We have almost close to 88 data centers in the country that are connected through our network, which also includes all our data centers. And over and above that, we have almost close around 500 buildings that are connected on Sifi's fiber infrastructure, right? And which actually enables us to which enables our customers to do an on-demand provisioning of services that they would want, right? If our office is available in one of the connected data centers, or if you are in one of the connected buildings that where Sifi is already fiberized, we can enable our customers to buy a 1G port or a 10G port, and any number of services can potentially be activated. Any capacity and any service can be activated on this orchestration platform, right? So for example, if you are available in our Sifi data center, and you can take a 1G port from us, and you can do an on-demand provisioning of services like internet, data center interconnect, or Ethernet services. And also, if you want to connect to cloud environments through pseudo wires, these orchestration platforms are capable enough to deliver a seamless provisioning experience. And the most important thing is that since it's on the go, it's an orchestration platform, the customer can kind of enable services that you want on the demand. Downgrades and upgrades are possible based on the customer's demand. Only thing is that you need to subscribe for a port, and you can on the demand subscribe for the required service and the bandwidth that you want on top of the port, which is specifically applicable for across our connected infrastructure in the country, like I said, which is like 88 connected data centers, and we have 500 plus connected buildings where we can kind of extend this SIFI OnNet, which is our orchestration platform, for our customers to do on-demand provisioning of services. And right, so from a network infrastructure perspective, like I said, we cover the whole gamut of services from a data center perspective, right? Our data centers are NVIDIA certified campuses with liquid cooling facility. Like I said, all the hyperscalers are available in our data center, so which actually means that our proximity to cloud providers is very, very, very near, and which enables us to give high performance, lowest latency at the lowest possible cost. And over on top of that, our data centers are also a kind of carrier neutral, and we enable all these service providers to come and co-locate in our data center. So you can, while you are being hosted inside a data center, you can consume services from any of the network service providers inside a data center, right? And we are also going towards, like I said, going closer to eyeballs through our edge data center facilities. Currently, the initiatives are on to build our data centers in Lucknow and Chandigarh, and we are one of the early starters in the edge data center, and being closer to the customers in tier two cities. And these tier two cities where we are establishing our edge is also very well connected from an infrastructure perspective, right? And on top of that, we have around 24 cities where we have a metro network where we kind of offer multi terabits and petabits of connectivity between data centers. And we be it optical solutions where we provide to most of the hyperscalers. We also have IP MPLS networks and Cloud Connect as a service. And if your offices are remote locations, we also have an extensive wireless reach, where we can kind of provide reach our network and reach your office location, right? And and while we have significant infrastructure investments and fairly well connected from a data center and a network perspective, we also do managed services. Right, we have SD-WAN, or we want to do private Wi-Fi with secured access, or private 5G are some of our managed services offer. Right. So from a network perspective, right, this is what we all do. We have an orchestration platform, and our data center and network services, along with the cloud connect, fairly complement each other from a service offering perspective, that can deliver value from both from price perspective and from a latency perspective. We can give you the lowest possible latency with the high uptime, because the networks are in and around our data centers, be it cloud or want to connect on other data center. Now, I'd like to hand over the baton to Mr. Suresh Kumaraju, who actually heads our managed services practice. And thank you so much for your time. Suresh, you want to take over?
Thank you, Prashant. Thank you for detailing the network infra piece. You would like to go on to the next slide. Will you continue presenting, or should I take over?
You can present, Suresh,
Okay.
or you want me to?
Oh, thanks. I think I'll manage that. Thanks. Just confirm if my screen is visible.
It is.
All right, great. So while Prashant detailed about SIFI's readiness and the contribution it can make to customers in this sector, from an infra perspective, I just wanted to briefly touch upon some of the trends and expectations from a network service provider when it comes to AI, and our readiness as far as the managed services around the platforms that we've created for our customers. Let me detail a bit of that. So, if you really look at what are some of the trends and expectations that we are seeing in the market, obviously, all of you are aware that the network is becoming more and more complex. The network is getting fragmented. A lot of you are actually moving from, or at least considering moving from MPLS networks to internet as a medium of transport at very difficult to reach locations. Broadband is becoming transport of choice, especially in manufacturing, logistics, etc. And we are seeing a lot of customers in BFSI as well inquiring about how we can secure networks when we actually move to different transports like internet and broadband. So networks are getting fragmented when you're actually adopting SD, and that leads to a controller problem. How do you actually bring all these networks together is another trend that we are seeing as questions from our customers. And above all, looking at an end-to-end service view, how do I, if I'm managing a complex network like a BFSI network, how do I have an end-to-end service view of how my network is performing, how my services are performing, how my applications are performing, etc. Right? Um, of course, cost efficiencies are something which is a constant pressure from the finance perspective. Linear scale of operations is something that is a challenge that we see as more and more branches get added to the networks. The cost seems to be, linearly going up rather than giving a benefit of the scale that to which you're growing, right? And many customers, what we are seeing is they're over provisioning their network and underutilizing, because we want performance, because we want uptimes to be guaranteed. We're actually looking at provisioning 1+1 kind of capacities, but we're actually underutilizing them. So there is a pressure on the costs of running the networks, and automation to achieve human in the loop. While the costs of human resources we are trying to reduce by bringing in automation. We also want some level of control in the overall scenario, and then have a human in the loop to guide the networks and management as it grows, right? The demand for
It's
enhanced
Suresh. Sorry for disturbing. I think your screen is not moving. It's not on full screen.
okay, I'm on full screen as far as I'm concerned, but okay, it's not on full screen. Okay, just give me a second. Is it on full screen now, Pranesh?
It's not shared.
Your screen is not. I think you need to share your screen again.
Full screen again. Okay, all right.
If you let me share for you, Suresh. If,
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
not. No, we put it on full screen, Suresh.
Is it working now?
It's not on full
The
screen.
window is open, but I think you need to put it on full screen.
I have. Okay, maybe I think Prashant, it'll help if you can share. It was working before. Yeah.
Yes, I think we can see the screen now. Perils of technology, very so unpredictable.
Yeah. Great. Thanks, Prashant. So I was speaking about the increasing demand for enhanced performance and reliability. So we are talking about a consumerization of experience. While we are actually operating in enterprise scenarios, we want the experience to be like a consumer. We want the apps, we want the experience to be seamless, like the way we operate our mobiles. We want all our platforms to be operating and giving the kind of experience that we expect in our mobile phones, right? So the experience has to be that smooth, even when we are operating in enterprise environments, right? And the performance of digital services, right? We would want to actually have predictable performance. Security, of course, is a no-brainer. It used to be a bolt-on service. You establish the network, set up the infrastructure, and then you bolt on the security services on top of it. No longer so. Your security has to be a part of the overall network design itself, and you want to have that kind of agility and flexibility when we are running our operations. And role of AI in networks. So when we look at AI itself, there are two fundamental ways that AI is actually being used. One, like service providers are using AI to make sure that um, we get much better performance and operational efficiencies of our networks and our customers' networks. The second is the way you would perhaps use AI itself to run your business operations, right? So the way we are consuming AI, I will touch upon it very briefly in the following slides. Prashant, the next slide, please. So, as we move into the world of AI, we require network transformation, right? And we require that intelligence, we require the security, and we require the agility to be able to cater to these new demands, right? So, deep network visibility provides real-time insights, and AI-driven platforms assist in agile decision making. Automation brings in predictability and higher efficiencies. Managed security, we have DDoS mitigation, which we offer as a service. We do branch firewall management. We also have integrated network and security operations. We have a NOC and SOC, which are integrated. Managed SD-WAN and SASE. This is something that we bring to our customers by providing a multi-vendor cloud-managed SD-WAN solutions. So there are multiple OEMs that we partner with, and we have SASE and SSE implementation and management as a service. So you have all the facets of SSE which are available to you as a service, like ZTNA, Secure Web Gateway, DLP, CASB, RBI, etc., as a cloud managed solution. We also have secure IT and OT integration. So multi-vendor OT integration and management is something that we offer to our customers. Edge solutions as well, and which basically allows for micro segmentation, which allows for private 5G for campuses, etc. And software defined campus and branch solutions. So I will detail a little bit more about that. So we have wired and wireless campus LAN solutions, and for branches, rapid expansion of your branches, we basically have your branch in a box solution. I will detail a bit more about that, and multi-vendor and multi-domain integration. So as you bring in multiple solutions in, it becomes very important that you're able to manage from a single orchestration layer. So we are able to bring in and integrate all these solutions into our management platforms. So if we move on to the next slide, we have a intelligent unified network platform architecture. Prashant, if you're able to move to the next slide. So this platform architecture brings together every layer of our network operations into a single unified ecosystem, right? And at the foundation of it, we have our multi-vendor network infrastructure across data center, cloud, WAN, campus, and edge. And these layers are constantly monitored through integrated telemetry. You are feeding a unified data pipeline, and this pipeline powers our AI/ML engines. We have some observability tools. We also have some digital twin simulations, which enable predictive maintenance and rapid resolution of issues as they occur, right? And on top of that, we have built an orchestration and automation layer. This streamlines the provisioning, this streamlines the change management and policy enforcement across the entire ecosystem, right? Um, for customers to actually enjoy this service, we actually have a self-service experience to our customers. We give them a lot of control, visibility, and agility, right? You are able to interact with those platforms, and we are able to ensure security and scalability and business continuity end to end, right? And all this is integrated and stitched together. There have been instances where we've also integrated customers' existing investments into this particular framework of the platform architecture. Right. Moving on to the next slide. So, smart manufacturing solutions. So, I will touch very briefly upon this. We spoke about branch in a box. This is especially true when it comes to rapid expansion of branches that we have seen. One of the leading banks in India, we basically implemented this solution. What this basically means on a practical level for you is when you have very less time to deploy and bring up new branches in a rapid expansion scenario, you just point out the branch to us and then we will go and make that branch live. So this basically involves getting in the connectivity, getting in the managed SD-WAN, putting in the Wi-Fi in place, installing the firewalls. In cases where it's required, we do some amount of passive work in terms of the cabling, etc., to get that branch up. And this is done in a very, very short span of time. We have mentioned smart manufacturing solutions, but we have done that in BFSI segment as well. Very, very recently, we have done this in e-commerce segment where branches, dark stores are opening up every other day to cater to the 15-minute or 10-minute delivery cycles that market is actually chasing. So this is something that you can actually rely on CFI for, right? Moving on. Most of you would have actually implemented some form of cloud-based security solutions. What SIFI has actually done is endeavored to bring its own security cloud to our customers. All you need to do is point that traffic to SIFI's cloud, and then we basically offer something called the Infinite SASE Plus platform. Why is it SASE Plus? There are a few features and benefits that you get from pointing the traffic to SIFI cloud. Rather than just rely on an SSE vendor, we have also built services around that. Right, this is a converged network and security solution that we provide. And you can provide secure internet breakout on any medium, consistent protection via secure web gateway, whether it's on MPLS or ILL or broadband. Typically, these solutions are only offered over internet, but we've added value on top of that by adding MPLS to the kitty. So you basically can safeguard your public cloud and SaaS usage through CASB and DLP across both direct connects and internet-based access, and seamless interoperability with your other investments that you have made, like you may have made SIEM or SOAR or threat analytics platforms. And this platform, what we built, actually supports PCI DSS, SOC 2, and other regulatory standards. So this is something that we are offering as a service. We'd be very happy to engage with you on that and run some POCs if you are so interested. Next slide, please. So we just want to briefly touch upon a couple of use cases. I'm running short of time, but I'll just briefly speak about that. India's top bank. Most of you would have guessed what the bank is, but this was a major deal for us, wherein there was enhanced application level visibility. The incumbent was running this network for almost 17 to 18 years, and the bank did not have a clear visibility of what tools were offered because the tools were not on-prem. They were basically deployed elsewhere in the service provider's cloud, and they did not have much of a say on how this whole network was being run. Um, the other thing is geographical operational visibility. So, since it was being run from a service provider cloud, there was no redundancy. What we've done for the bank is to basically set up two separate network operation centers, and we are operating the entire NOC to manage over 25,000 branches of the customer. This also includes the bank's foreign offices. These are not retail operations that they run in foreign offices. They have about 118 branches of the bank running in foreign locations. They all handle very critical transactions between the two countries, India and the other countries. We also do break fix support. We also do site surveys. We also do infrastructure management for the branches in all these other countries as well. There are about 23 countries and 118 branches that we actually manage, right? So a lot of automation has been brought in for faster issue resolution. So from the time that we have implemented, there have been significant improvements as far as the operational efficiencies are concerned. From a resources standpoint, when we took over this network, we actually have deployed over 1,000 resources. About 200 odd resources are sitting inside the NOC, and the rest 700 are on field and support the customers' field issues. So the entire field operations as well as the NOC operations of the bank are actually being run by SIFI for the last couple of years now. Next, Prashant. This is another critical network that we run in the country. So every transaction that you actually make when you're transferring money from your account to another account using IMPS or NEFT, the transaction actually traverses over a network that is managed by SIFI. So we were very instrumental in transitioning them to an MPLS network way back more than 10 years ago, and subsequently we have been instrumental in the network transformation of this organization, which is an RBI subsidiary. And today we are managing a highly complex network which involves multiple service providers. The contracting is done with SIFI. However, the management of the network is done through SIFI itself, be it SIFI's network or third party networks. It's a very complex engagement. It's a hybrid engagement where we have on-premise resources as well, and we also have a dedicated NOC which we have set up for them to manage this particular network. We have designed the network in such a way that we are able to offer extremely high uptimes, 99.9975 percent uptime of the branches. So that is how we have actually engineered the network to provide that kind of a high uptime, right? This is another very key engagement that we have providing to our managed services customers. Just to summarize, this is my last slide. So we have pan India presence, which Prashant basically spoke about. We are using AI inside our network, and we are ready to offer AI ready infrastructure to our customers as well. And as far as connectivity is concerned, very quietly over the years, we have been establishing connectivity to all the data centers, be it SIFI or other data centers in the country, so that wherever you are hosted, you are just one click away from getting connected to the SIFI network. So we have a huge 84 plus interconnected data centers and upcoming 20 plus edge DCs that we are basically establishing. We have a banking DNA. We are very proud to say that almost every major bank in the country is using our network today. We understand banking, we understand private banks and public sector banks. We have been providing last miles to other service providers as well. When you actually go and contract with someone else, they're relying on SIFI's last miles to connect your branches, right? And we have that banking DNA. We understand this market, and it is secure by design. We started by securing our own network, and we continue to do that for our customers as well. And managed services is something that we started about a decade ago, and this has grown into a significant business for us. Whether the network belongs to SIFI or belongs to someone else, we have an appetite for managing the customers' networks, be it links, be it CPs or routers, or offering infrastructure and services from our side, right? If you have any further questions, we'll be very happy to answer that in the chat window. Thank you very much for your attention. Rashmi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Suresh. That was excellent. Suresh, Santana, Pranesh, all three of you made excellent points, and it was a very, very interesting primer for us to start. Before we move on, one quick question, please, for our audience. Sukrita, do you want to bring up the poll? Okay. So, how would you describe the current state of your enterprise network infrastructure? Pick one, as usual, that works best for you. So is it fully centralized with minimal remote or branch connectivity? Is it primarily on-prem with limited cloud integration? Or is it hybrid with a mix of on-prem and cloud-based infrastructure? Or is it fully cloud-based with minimal on-prem infrastructure? Or is it option number 5, which is decentralized with multiple branches and remote locations connected? Please pick the one that currently describes the state of your enterprise network infrastructure. Pick one only. We'll just give people a couple of seconds to respond. All right, Sukrita, can we have the responses, please? All right, the maximum is for hybrid. No surprises there. With a mix of on-prem and cloud-based infrastructure. Excellent. And or the second, well on its heels, is fully centralized with minimal remote or branch connectivity. Perfect. So that's an excellent way for us to start our next conversation. I would like to request our panelists to all come on video, please. Thank you, Pranesh, Suresh, Jimit. Mahendra is already on camera. Okay, so I want to get started. I want to strike when the iron is hot, and I want to quickly introduce our speakers while they come on camera. We have with us Mahendra Parmar, who is the head of cybersecurity engineering at IIFL. We also have on the panel Jimit Dheerajlal Malde, who is the senior operational risk analyst at IDFC Bank. And of course, we will also be hearing from Safi's Pranesh, who brings a deep understanding of the infrastructure backbone that powers AI innovation. Pranesh, I want to start with you. Let's set the stage. So many BFSI organizations are still working, with legacy IT and network infrastructure like we found in our poll. So give me maybe, your insights from your perspective. What are the main challenges do you think there are when you integrate these systems with modern AI platforms?
Sure. Thanks. I'm sure AI is the buzzword today, and everybody has got. I mean, it was good to see from the panel that people are already looking at some use cases or looking at what should we do on AI, right? So that's a good place to actually start this subject on. If we are looking at AI or
Mm,
looking at AI infrastructure, what should be the foundation, right? The foundation is very, very important. From my perspective, while it is spoken very less about, network is the foundation for the AI infrastructure or AI mechanism, because when you look at what is it the AI is going to bring in, it is going to bring in information from a lot of other locations, centralized process, and then help you take immediate decisions or help you in analyzing the information and taking fast decision to actually improve your business, right?
right.
That's the whole idea of the use case. If you are to do that, it's very important that we have the robust infrastructure, because you don't want the infrastructure to actually be the weak link in your entire exercise. So it's
Right.
very important to focus on the infrastructure. Security is the next
Mm,
area, because of the decentralization and a lot of information coming from a lot of areas. Security is very, very important. And the third is the scalability of the entire infrastructure. These are the three part of the infrastructure is just very, very important. And on top of it, then you can look at what kind of use cases you need and what you want to do, only inferencing, or you want to actually look at model, which model to look at, right? So that is the next layer which needs to be looked at. There are a lot
mm,
of options, and what is important, and I'm sure all of you know your industry the best on the BFSI, what is important, and I'm sure you are already looking at it. But my submission here is that it's very important to look at what is the infrastructure that you're going to actually base your AI journey on, and how do you ensure that it has got all the three components which I spoke about in terms of reliability, in terms of scalability, and as well as robustness in terms of how we actually make it, right? Just picking on the network side of it,
mm,
what is the important part of the network from actually building your AI journey is that you need to ensure one is the reliability, right? So as you know, banking is based on especially in India, right, where you're basing your business on people accessing. Today it's no longer that people go to the branches and then access it. They do access from their telephones, then their phone, home computers, and then a lot of branches which is actually located at very remote places. So the latency and becomes a very, very important point, right? So one is latency between your area where, like what Prashant just spoke about, in terms of like where your inferencing is and where is your data is located, how reliable it is. That's a very critical part. And
mm,
then second is from your inferencing location, that is where you are actually having your AI workloads to your endpoints, right? So that reliability is also important. There it becomes, what is important is observability, in terms of how do you ensure that, do you know what your customers are experiencing your services as, and do you
mm,
get can you actually manage this proactively and predict what will be the experience and take proactive actions, right? So that
right.
becomes a very, very important part. So that's where we are working on the network side, in terms of how to build AI into our network management and operations, to
Mm,
ensure that we manage all the three areas proactively and also predict issues much before it happens. That's a focus we are working on. And at the end of the day, efficiency is also important. While the AI brings in efficiency, but the other areas of reliability and predictability is also very, very critical.
fair, fair. That actually gives us an excellent foundation to understand, the infrastructure hurdles really. So I want to move closer to the customer side of the story with the rest of our panelists, get a little bit of background information on how the tech folks who do this day in and as your customers, as the customers of these solutions, how they look at it. I just want to check with Mahendra if he has anything to add to the security aspect that you mentioned, that, he mentioned that security is one of the most important layers of managing a network infrastructure. Do you have anything to add to that? Do you agree, disagree?
So I completely agree with Pranesh. I mean, that's the point. I mean, as enterprise are, started adapting the rapid AI adoption part, right?
Yeah.
Because the mainstream AI adoption was already there at the prime stage, but then now enterprises have also started adapting them. We have to ensure the data protection and security is at the topmost list when considered from the compliance or from the best practice per se, right? So I completely agree with Pranesh that we have to ensure that data modeling are important from the enterprise part, but then how do we ensure the data before getting to the AI model, how they are being tokenized or anonymized before it gets into the AI model?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mahendra. And I want to now quickly move to Jimit because I want to get us a little bit of insight on use cases. So, Jimit, you mentioned that AI is not just an application, it's a tool that a lot of enterprises use to manage IT infrastructure. So, give us your point of view. Are you using AI to optimize your network? Maybe as an example, in cases like predictive maintenance or automated fall detection. What do you think? Jimit, can you hear us? Yes,
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I'm able to hear.
of
So thank you for having me on the panel.
course. Thank you for
So
being here.
so see to answer the question, see yes, what is AI's role in an this one IT network operation? You can forward the logs like your what is it your log dumps to AI where it'll work on this one. Well, work on the data to work on the prediction, and based on that, it'll give an output, something like a device optimization.
Mm,
It'll look for patterns, certain patterns, like okay, whether there is a sudden this one drop in the performance, all of a sudden, like I mean, say for example, like in the past, the threshold did not breach this one frequently, but all of a sudden it started happening frequently. So in that way, yes. But to answer that particular question, whether we are using it as of now, yes, the organization is pondering about it. We do not have anything concrete to say like whether they like this one is searching for any particular solution.
right.
Uh, but this
And
is in but this is since AI is a buzzword and it's a current trend, but this one the IT department is pondering about
yes,
it.
so and as someone who deploys it yourself, like, do you also believe that AI is an important aspect to include in your network infrastructure at this point?
Just a correction. See, I'm part of operations risk team. So as such, like, I mean, we are not the decision makers to what to say,
Of course.
whether to implement it. So that is something taken by IT. However, yes, as you said, yes. See, AI is right now in a nascent stage.
Mm,
See, I have a second-hand experience with it. Like, it's not like I have first-hand experience. So I know someone like person who trains models. So, like, she works for an automotive a client where they have to pass a huge amount of data. Like in terms of images, it has to optimize the image and training that model takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of resources as well. You have to get this one machine with a really strong GPU, and it has to take a lot of load. So it is something resource intense to be that's the correct term to put it.
mm,
Yes, every organization will consider it. I'm not saying it, but still being in a nascent stage, they will be wary of it. And from an operations risk perspective, we also have to look at the compliance risk that is being involved, because AI is going to I mean, it is going to consume a lot of data. Now these
Mm.
kind of information will come under certain sensitive information, whether it will be legally allowed to do it. But especially if it is an in-house AI, I can understand, because the data is going to be present inside the this one, say for example organization itself. But
Mm.
if we are going for any service provider, so
Mm.
how the service provider will use the data, and where the service provider will be located, are they going to keep the data in the country or in the particular city? So, and how the, I mean, whether it's a regulator or the government, what kind of laws or what kind of mandates they'll come up with. So these are some things which we need to keep in mind.
Yes, absolutely. Very relevant questions as well. Pradesh, do you have, being on the other side of this, what do you like to add to that?
Perfect. So I think the good points covered on the security, risk, compliance, and what is training, as well as what is security and compliance, right? So uh, I mean, I'm being an infrastructure company providing services. I would like to actually to only cover in terms of like how we can help in terms of your business, right? So, but all I can do is give some of the examples on why, what are the kind of areas that the banking industry is actually looking at AI for, and
Mm.
how do we actually come into the picture, right? So, I just want to put the disclaimer because I'm not an expert on what what are the actual use cases on banking, because all of you are know exactly, but I can give you some examples, right? So for example, risk management is a very critical area for the banking industry, right? For example, what I have heard is uh, in case of the Visa and MasterCard, when they are doing a processing,
Mm.
the time they have to actually detect a fraud is only 300 milliseconds, right?
Mm.
In 300 milliseconds, if you have to actually detect a fraud and control it from the fraud being happening, it's very important that there is a lot of components on the infrastructure which should play together and bring in this capability, so that even though you have a good inferencing model, trained model, everything, but then will you be able to actually catch that particular incident in time? It's very important, right? That's where we are looking at how we can build our capability, so that if we can have adaptive routing policies, so that we know that if there is any variation in the latency or anomaly that we can detect and proactively take actions, so that your capability of ability to uh, catch that fraud within 300 milliseconds is taken care of. Similarly, the second area which we are also looking at is, for example, the biggest financial transaction company today in India is the UPI payment, right? So if a UPI payment, in fact, SIFI also we manage the network and infrastructure for NPCI. We
Mm.
are the service provider. We understand the criticality of the applications over there. So it's very important that any UPI transaction happening, they need to know that what is the kind of transaction, and then they have a mechanism of scoring, right? Risk scoring for every transaction. Based on the risk scoring, they take immediate action. So if you have to have this, you need to get information from multiple sources, then get the data somewhere, analyze it, and take immediate action, right? So if we have to have this seamless performance, again, network performance is a very critical area, right? So
Mm.
experience of this of the application or the usage of this ability to of AI is again deterministic from the kind of high performance network that you have.
Mm.
And the another one more area I would like to cover is like uh, we actually manage the network connectivity for the brokers for National Stock Exchange. So there, the latency forms a very big factor, because especially with a high speed trading,
Right.
a microsecond of latency difference in the feed between two brokers can create havoc, right? So, I mean, you need to have a mechanism where you are constantly measuring the latency, and any changes is immediately we take corrective action. So, in this high performance financial industry, uh, while the AI applications will grow, there is no other option because there is so much of transaction happening all the places, right? And also from our perspective as a SIFI, we want to ensure that we are there, we are ready in terms of helping you guys in terms of creating such an infrastructure. And we are using AI in a large scale within our network operations to keep this high performance network available and reliable for the AI, and keep it ready for the AI journey. That's
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that, Pranesh. Like, I love that we got both aspects of the question in one go. I know we're a little bit over time, but I promise you this is going to be a very intense and very engaging discussion. So please bear with us for another 10 minutes. Really appreciate everyone being here. And one of the things that Jimit mentioned and Pranesh added on to was compliance. And I do want to get to Mahendra on this. Before we do that, I have a very quick poll question. Sukrita, can we just bring up our next poll? Fastest fingers first at this point. How prepared is your organization to invest in high bandwidth, low latency network infrastructure to meet future workloads? 6 to 12 months, early stages, will use existing infrastructure, or you currently have no plans? And the second question is, what are your top priorities for network transformation over the next 12 months? Is it to enhance your network agility? Is it to strengthen? Is it to improve support for your AI workloads? Or is it to optimize cost? Or is it to enable real-time insights and monitoring? The third question is, how important is real-time observability with AI ML insights in managing your network infrastructure? Is it top priority? Is it important but you've not implemented it yet? It's somewhat important. It's not a current priority, or you're not sure. Please quickly take a second to vote on this. All right, thank you so much. Sukrita, can we have the responses? 33% say they're actively planning investments in the next year. And for the next question, most are optimizing costs. And for the third question, extremely important, it's a top priority. Excellent. That gives us a perfect way to segue into our next question with Mahendra. Mahendra,
Yeah.
you already spoke about security when we were discussing what other priorities you need to keep in mind when you're implementing AI in your network infrastructure. So regulatory compliance and data security are extremely critical in BFSI, right? So how do you ensure that your network infrastructure supports these requirements, while on the other hand, you're also enabling rapid AI adoption?
Sure. Okay. First of all, before I miss out, I'd like to thanks to SIFI Network and ISMG for arranging this session on the important topic, right? And it's really a pleasure to join this virtual stage along with the industry experts and fellow colleagues, right? Whereas Pranesh and Jimmy have focused gave a deep insight on the how scalable the network have to adapt when they are actually rapidly adopting the AI at the enterprise level, right? And Jimmy covered on the risk part as well. I would like to focus on the data security part when it comes from the compliance point of view, because as you know, in the financial services, right, regulatory compliance and data security, they are non-negotiable, right? Uh, and as I mentioned in lastly was that the mainstream AI adoption part, right, as it is growing up in the enterprise level, uh, straight from the normal user to the researcher or the executive, everyone is um, want to expose to the AI model or AI platforms, we can't restrict them anymore at the web security level from the security administrator or the security practitioner per se, right? I can't restrict them. So we have to enable them to access those platforms, but we again have to ensure the data security is in place with the help of all the web security model or platform. We try our best that we ensure that all malicious or risky AI platforms are restricted to the users, right? We ensure that those are being deployed with help of new adoption of cloud app protection within the web security models. We are even able to, on a real-time basis, define if any of the platform is being moved on as or adopted as a risky platform, right? Now, apart from that, we also ensure that we restrict or provide access only to those users who required to upload data, right? And with this kind of technology or platform being adopted at the lower level from right from all normal user to the high executives, right? From the DLP per se, the work have increased, or in fact, it's become a new normal for the DLP analyst, where they started, instead of looking at the file which are actually getting uploaded, which are breaching the DLP policies, or an email sent out, right? Now they are actually getting notification or alerts for the prompt which are being put up, which are breaching the organization policies from the data security perspective, right? So we have to ensure that we have proper control on all those levels, whether it is web security or a DLP and all, right? Saying that, now since the enterprise have also started leveraging this platform at the enterprise application level as well, we need to ensure the platform is scalable enough, right? From IFL front, we have a hybrid network, straight from the on-prem to the multi-cloud, say, or multi-CSPs, right? From tier 1 to tier 3, we have workload distributed everywhere. Now,
Right.
we ensure that when we design the network and which can support this AI adoption part, we design in such a way that the workload are actually isolated uh, right from the network segmentation per se toward the zero trust or the ZTNA based, right? Zero trust control per se. In my on-prem or my cloud environment, we have ensured that even in the cloud environment, whether they are in VPC or VNet, if there are multiple subnets that have been defined, there are proper controls which we have able to achieve so that such AI workload which have been either deployed on the on-prem or the cloud, they are secured or isolated to the other applications, right? Apart from that, from the zero trust or zero trust network per se, when I say, we have started developing new controls from, let's say, from user to workload or workload to workload. We have started deploying security platform which are securing per workload basis, which in today's terminology, what we call as a micro-segmentation, right? So we have started adopting that as well to ensure we have a secure network within the cloud as well as within the on-prem network, right? Now, when you ask for how do I ensure, apart from this two controls, I also ensure that we at the scalability part, the infrastructure is such design from the compliance or the data security per se, it is such design that it can be scaled enough in case the security models are wanted to have a huge network requirements from the security appliances as well. Let's say, for example, if there are perimeter or internal firewalls which have been deployed, right? They need to be scalable as well in case there are peak hours for the trading and platform like for us, right? During peak hours, not only the workloads get spin up as per the load, even our perimeter security gets developed or scaled up when required. So we have designed the network in such a way that it is not only scalable at the workload level, but also at the perimeter level. So this is few of the parameters or few of the approaches which we have leveraged so that we we ensure that we have a data protection at the prime level, whether it is at the on-prem level or the cloud environment.
Perfect. I love how comprehensive you were going through one step at a time. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective. So far, we've looked at today's challenges, which is infrastructure integration, customer use cases that Jimit mentioned, security, compliance, and network optimization. So to round up, I have a quick poll question for our audience to answer. Sukrita, can you bring up the poll, please? Are you planning to adopt end-to-end managed network services within the next 6 to 9 months? Yes, definitely. Yes, exploring options. No, not a priority. Unsure, still evaluating. And while you do that, thank you all to our panelists for such a rich discussion. What is clear is that AI at scale is not only about algorithms. It's about building resilient, secure, and intelligent networks that can carry the weight of tomorrow's financial services. And thank you to our audience, who all of you have been wonderful. So many questions in the Q&A session that the Sufi team has been answering as well. And thank you so much for joining us. We hope you leave with the practical insights on how to blueprint your own network innovation journey. Please, also, we have a feedback form that will come up. So answer the question. Sukrita, can you just bring up the feedback poll? So just answer that so we can serve you better in the future. It's Sukrita, can we bring up the poll, please? So would you like the SIFI team to contact you to explain our solutions in detail? How was your overall experience and which aspect of the webinar did you find most valuable? Well, please make sure that you respond to this, and thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. I know we've taken up 13 minutes more of your time, but I'm hoping that the entire conversation was enriching and you're taking something back to implement in your own companies. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this today, and to our panelists as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.